Dim, dam, dadilam, vacarme s'en va dans l'oubli éternel. Et Gustave, dom guardiam, dilim, dididididam, lutes sera dodidom, seram. Dim, dim, da da da, dim, da da da, dim, da di dam. Dim, dim, da da da, dim, da da da, dim, da di dam. Dans là-haut sera ravi, les toits à sur noir gris fera. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair, obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, trouvera effet. Clair, obscur, bordé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Ô clair, obscur, trouble, rature. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, couvrera effet. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle. Clair, obscur, trouble de rature, couvrera effet. Clair, obscur, guardé aux peintures, trouvera sans elle.
All right. Hello, folks. How are you doing? Can you hear me well? I'm sorry, my voice is a bit weird. I got sick in the last days. So I'm going to do my best to avoid the cough. And no webcam today. There's no need for that. All right. Let's get ready to finalize those portfolio reviews. We have a few more to go. Oh, you thought there is someone else? No. No, it's just that my voice is completely broken at the moment. All right. Let's get started. So you know the drill. Portfolio reviews. There were a few submissions left. And as always, we are covering portfolios from a job application standpoint. I'm sorry if you hear the cats. They are having zoomies like every morning. So the main question and the main angles we're going to review the portfolios of everyone is your work being aligned with the studios you are aiming at or not? Are you able to design comfortably and offer them choice or not? Can you help the 3D team do their job without them guessing? So you save time and money. Are you showing gameplay and money-making opportunities in your work? This is a bit more advanced. And finally, the fundamentals and paging. So this is the final review. We have roughly 2 hours to cover all of them. It should be more than enough. If you are reviewed, good for you. If you are not, it's not a personal offense as always. It's just that I'm selecting the portfolios that are granting interesting discussion, and some of them, if I just say, yeah, work on the fundamentals, it's not the best feedback. And we are still going to cover the fundamentals across those reviews. So even for you, it's gonna make sense. All right. So we are starting with Jim Tan from Singapore, and this is beautiful. So I'm Jing, based in Singapore. I'm currently shifting my work towards stylized environments and props. We focus on gameplay mechanics and environmental design. I felt hard stuck for a while and want to understand what's holding my work back so I may get better opportunities. My goal is to work at studios like Envar, West Studios, and Fireball. So basically Riot style. I tend to overthink the early stages of design, struggle with clarity, especially with what should be prioritized and what can be left implied on a page, and whether my design intent reads clearly to order. I'm worried if I'm communicating too much on the unnecessary or too little on the essential. I enjoy telling small stories through space and character iterations. Okay. So Envar, West Studio, Fireball. So we are very close to the arcane style. As I've been saying to a lot of people, careful about the trendy style of the moment, because there's a lot of demand. Like, let's start with this. So arcane cover art. I want to point this out to all of you folks regarding trends. This is going to be the next video I'm making. I'm going to make it maybe tomorrow. I'm not even sure. But I'm going to do another live. But okay, first thing. Regarding a trade, and I'm not dismissing where you want to go. I just want to raise awareness regarding certain things. When people aim at the not the mainstream, but the popular studio, basically. So we have Arcane, okay. Oh my god, I'm sorry if the pictures are small, but whatever. Okay, so we have Arcane. Okay, I will not say anything, and I want to see if in the chat you start to see the pattern. So this was the first one. This one is fine. Okay, go ahead in the chat. Tell me if you start seeing some pattern right here. What's the other one? Are we seeing some sort of patterns right here? In the colors, regarding the style of the character, regarding the way they are made. I just want to raise awareness around the trendy arcane style at the moment, because everyone and their mom is trying to do it. And we have the same like neon, modern, punkish thing. We have the same art style. We have the roughly the same character. Like this is a mix between Jet and Kathleen right there. She should be named Jetlin, thanks to Axel. And always the same punk ass attitude, etc. So if you aim at that style, please, for the love of your portfolio, do not aim at punk ass shit like that, because everyone is doing the same and flop, flop, flop. I mean, it's not there yet, but everyone knows this game is it looks like shit, and it's not gonna work. I'm pretty sure there's more, but that's just the 3 that come out of my mind. I'm sorry for Wayfinder, it looks great. And same with Supervive, but everything feels the same. So please, if you want to stand out, you may keep the style, but do not do those subjects. That's all I'm saying. And right now it's kind of okay, because you are bringing it in a different direction. The first thing I would like to know is the market demanding that? And right now, I don't really know. I don't really know which... okay, so that's a cover art. This is beautiful, by the way. It's not finished. It will deserve to be polished more, in my opinion. Even right there, the lighting, it's mostly the lighting. It's not strong and sharp enough. It's a bit soft. It lacks directionality, and it makes everything a bit flat. You want the ambient occlusion on your character. You want more material separation, because every shader feels a bit the same, and it ends up flattening the design overall, even though it has everything to be a beautiful illustration. I like the little design you have. It's nice. It's just that right there, it's difficult to pinpoint which architectural style it is. I love those ornaments. I like what I'm seeing. Sorry. But I would like to know a bit more about the architectural style. And also those buildings, they are always kind of following the same shape with stairs and a cube right there. Try to have drastic variations for those buildings. Recall from Overwatch. No, that's fine. Overwatch. Cover art. It's difficult because Overwatch is not Overwatch 2 anymore. That kind of thing. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it feels like Fortnite right there. Oh yeah. You see how uncanny close it feels? This is nuts. Every character feels the fucking same now. Like that one with the hair. I really like that design, by the way. I like this one. It works. Like, this is almost the same as that one. Okay. And that one... This is fucking Emma Frost. This is we have Emma Frost at home. And this one, I mean, you've seen the controversy between this one and what's her name? Mystic, I think? No, not Mystic, Magic. So yeah, same with that one. Generic as fuck, in my opinion. Anyways, enough rambling. It's just to show how when something is trendy, you need to be careful. And right there, I really want to see the building in perspective. Like front view, side view, that's fine. But I want to see them in perspective, and I want to see them a bit more complex right now. You see right there the variations. It's minor. When you scroll like that, it's like, yeah, okay, we changed a few stuff, but you did not change the DNA. It's just some facade, and you want to go with very drastic variations. Right there, I know you can iterate. This is good, but you are iterating on small things. You want to iterate on big things. I'm going to show always the same example. Let's pick Nikita, for example, now that I can share it. We're going to make a making of about that, by the way. About that project, because it's really, really great. But right there, those three buildings, they have almost nothing in common besides the fact that they have several floors and the same architectural style. That's how you want to that's how you want to propose iterations. Because if you only do the small ones, they don't know if you can do more. While if you do more, they know you can do less. So it's really about over-delivering, and it's constantly in your portfolio. In my opinion, again, allegedly, it's about anticipating the objections they're going to throw at you, and understanding that internal dialogue they will have. Okay, you can do that, but can you do this? Yes, I can, etc. And shutting down those objections. And right there, always ask yourself, what is the sole thing, the one question, the one remark that an art director could throw at that piece to shut it down? And I know it sounds a bit dismissive, but that's how you're really going to course correct your portfolio. Even yesterday, I was giving feedback to one of the mentees who was almost done with his chapter. And he was like, hey, I'm a bit tired. I want to get it done. I want to release it. Otherwise, I'm going to spend an extra 200 hours. And I was like, yes, but if you don't spend maybe an extra 10 hours on it, all those 200 hours will be kind of worth nothing, because it's easily, you can easily shut down that portfolio with a few questions regarding rendering. And that's why I advise you to not call it done when you are tired, but to call it done when it's done, as a respect for the amount of time you spent on it. And it's kind of the same right there. Like the main question to shut down this is, okay, can you do different shapes, please? Just to give context, they are from a client brief. Okay, makes sense. Okay. I know you didn't have the choice. Let's treat that as a portfolio in that case. For your next pieces, in that case, to complement that. But yeah, if it's clients, you have to cut corners, so whatever. Rest of that is a lot of iteration. Illustration stuff. I like the different posing. It's mostly key poses around the same character with the same costume. So again, if you wanted to do concept art, you need iteration about costumes. This is nice. I mean, the pose is good. I like what I'm seeing right there. This is very good. You still have a bit of the anime sprinkle that you will have to correct, but or tame rather. But you know, to pose character, the shapes are cool. I like it. What is my cat doing? Oh my god. What are you doing, buddy? Stretching on the wall. But yeah, it's really about showing iterations right now. I like what I'm seeing right there. But I want the drastically different proposals. I have showed them already. Let's pick Julie. Yeah, this is cleaner. Yeah, you see the drastically different things right there. For the same character, so many different proposals. It doesn't have to be polished, okay? But right there, we sense, okay, comfortable with designing and drawing cool shapes and such. So yeah, proposals. And after, I have not seen turnarounds and things like that yet, I think. I might be wrong. No, it's some illustration, so you will have to add the turnarounds, the call out on the props, etc. I showed them last time, so that's it. But you know to draw, so this is nice, dude. I like it. This is very valuable right here. Holy shit, this is good. Do more of this. This is so cool. Oh my god. Come on, outstation. Your thought on Guerrilla Games' direction with the Horizon IP? Dead on Arrival. That's all. Fucking Dead on Arrival. Nobody wants that shit. I'm going to talk about that in the next presentation. But yeah, Dead on Arrival. Nobody wants that. That's another case example of arrogant studios who are not in touch with the public and delivering what they think Twitter wants rather than what the public wants. And no fucking body wants a Fortnite clone of Horizon Zero Dawn. The heroes are uncharismatic as fuck. They are generic as fuck. And hero shooters, good fucking luck. It's like you make a hero shooter today, you arrive too late. Because there is fucking Overwatch that is coming, that is doing a redemption arc at the moment. Hopefully it's gonna go. Hopefully they're going to bring back 6v6. That will be the best redemption arc ever. But Overwatch is getting back terrain. Marvel Rivals is a monster. And you have fucking Deadlock. And Deadlock is insane. And I know it's a hero shooter on mobile, it's different. But it's still a hero-based shooter thing. And how can you fucking compete with those three with uncharismatic as fuck characters from Horizon that nobody knows about? That's as simple as that. But back to your work, Jim. This is very good. This is what I want to see. Those NPCs are fantastic. Like those ones, amazing page. Amazing. I know it's old, so I'm pretty sure you can do them even better today. But right there, a lot of value. Congratulations. Propsies have to be a bit more complex, I think. Right now, it's you have the function, but you don't really have the form. So yeah, more sketches, more iteration, some gameplay. You have a lot of NPCs, which is good. I would like to see one playable character with abilities and such. You might have seen my latest LinkedIn post. Those were focused heavily on characters, by the way. But let me show you some examples. Let's pick Boon, as always. You want those little sketches right there. You want abilities like that. You want gear. You want spells, things like that. Tyler Edlin made a video recently about that. And he showed Wood's work and a lot of our mentees, as always. I need to contact Tyler to do a podcast with him. But this kind of stuff is valuable. Like, in addition to how the character look, ask yourself, how do you play it? How do you animate it? You already have some key poses, so that's fine. And then Envar West Studio, you want to do skins. You want to do cosmetics and such, because this is what you're most likely to do at that studio as a mid. As a mid artist. So skins. Very good. Very good. I like what I'm seeing. mentorship ready, portfolio ready, mentorship ready, preparatory module ready. I mean, everyone is ready for it. So very good. But those ones, chef's kiss, absolute chef's kiss. And you see, you are kind of breaking the anime vibe right there. It's a bit more realistic. It's some kind of character you will see in Final Fantasy, for example, or in Monster Hunter. I really like where it's going. And that big cat, I want the same at home. So very, very nice gym. It's all about complex iteration and drastic ones now. And yeah, you'll be good. Juliana, next person. I have a bachelor in multimedia design, so got understanding between art and design. I have some experience working for indie games. It all wasn't shipped, so I can't show it in a portfolio, and therefore I don't have actual proof that I have this production expense. Plus, it was so chaotic process. I made lots of iteration, but my team preferred just annoying anything that was the most rendered, so I over lost connection. What concept art actually is about? Please use some connection words. It's a bit hard to read the sentences. I'm misunderstanding of what things I should include in portfolio, in my portfolio. Please. The text. I struggle with art style as company and also have product in different style, but I heard it's kind of bad. Show different style in the portfolio. I want to craft characters and creature related stuff, semi-realistic stylized. Present product Doom, Warhammer, Rock Trader, and VAR Doom Riot games. Your message is super hard to read. No offense, but it's very, very hard to read. Please, folks, when you submit that, make it easier for us to help you. From my perspective, concept art is about exploration, creative communication between my concept and a player. No, the 3D team first and the player after through that 3D model. But yeah, how to play with my character, interact with NPC. Yes. But courses and concept artists I've interacted with keep telling me mostly about rendering or simple ideas like just draw a cool Viking warrior dude with story, that's all. No, just a cool character with a story. Nobody gives a shit. Everyone can do that. Rendering, we certainly have a few rendering elements that have to be polished, but I picked that portfolio. It's going to be a slightly shorter review. You're welcome, Jim. You're welcome. It's going to be a shorter review because right now, companies and product UI, Doom, Warhammer, Rock Trader, so Warhammer 40k, Envar, Riot Games. That's a mega wide spectrum. I don't see how you can get Doom, Warhammer, and 40k to coexist with Envar and Riot Games in the same portfolio. So either you will have to make two different portfolios or else you have to make a choice. And right now, it doesn't match one or the other. So you have to make a decision. I like what I'm seeing here. The final rendering can be pushed a bit further, and always it's the same thing. It's material separation. So you want the hair to be silky, you want the metal to be reflective, you want the skin to be a bit oily. It is. But right now, everything feels like the skin a bit. The hair feels the same, the metal feels a bit the same. Everything feels a bit the same material-wise, so it tends to flatten the character. You want sharper lighting, so you have stronger lights and shadows. And right now, we have this kind of diffuse lighting. We don't have a directionality. We have a bit of shadows there, but it's not matching on the face. It's not matching on the rest of the gear of the character. So again, it tends to feel a bit flat. And then the 3D look, it's okay. The material, the vibrancy and such, it's okay. But it's mostly more precise lighting and more dissociation between the materials if you really want to improve your rendering. The rest, kinda okay, but this is the priority to me. I really like this kind of Jane Katsubo type of watercolor rendering right there. It's very nice. Those sketches are cool, especially that one. Composition is great. Careful about the anatomy of the legs, for example. It looks a bit weird. And color variation, not the most important. And right now, those sketches, careful about anatomy, and the limbs are a bit stiff right now. You have a lot of straight lines. I think you should sketch more like this than this. Right there, you seem to be very comfortable with that. I'm not telling you to have such extreme poses for initial sketches. It could be a bit more idle, but sketch in that style. It's way more efficient. Okay. Yeah, use that line work. That's where you are the best. We can sense you know to draw. So focus on your strength. You don't have to do this kind of black and white thing with just hatching like that. You have those, and you convey actually more information with those textual information and such. So it's more efficient this way, I think. Yeah, rendering wise, right there, you see everything is a bit chalky. The hair, the face, the metal, everything feels a bit the same. So again, it flattens things. It feels like in those slightly older games where you have a texture that is projected on a simple model. Let me have a bite of my sandwich. So yeah, it's about that. Sketches, I'm not a fan of sketches that are a bit between values and things like that. I think the purpose of a sketch, and you're going to see, because I made an interview with Marko Djordjevic from Six More Vodka. He's the founder of Six More Vodka. We're going to release that on the 26th of February for the start of their Orkan Kickstarter. But it was like, nobody cares about the rendering, just convey the idea in the most efficient way. And right here, I think the attempt at rendering things early gets in the way of the design, actually. I would really prefer some line work, again, like this, where everything is clean. The sole purpose is to express the ID, not to render yet. So we can validate the ID, and then you can move to rendering on the only one that is validated. Same thing with the materials right there. I like the design. I like where it's going right there. At least the upper part. Lower part right there, it's a bit too symmetrical to my taste. And we need the sketches. Then rest of the portfolio, it seems a bit, it's older. You know how to fucking draw. Draw more with this kind of rendering. This is fine. This is fine. You don't have to go in. You don't have to go in silhouette and things like that. I'm not a fan of silhouettes. What I like is line drawing and then gray, low opacity silhouette. So we have the silhouette, but we have the statement factor of the line. Because right there, because a lot of things are a bit sketchy and not as statement oriented than line drawing, you force the art director to use their imagination. It defeats the purpose of early sketches. In terms of content, I will probably remove that one and that one. I'm assuming those are commissions, something like that. It's going to categorize you in the furry thing, and there are bad stigmas around that, so you probably want to avoid that. It's some old work, also like 4 years old, like remove that. So with that one. And try your best, as I was saying to Jim with my rant regarding Riot and everyone doing the same thing. Give me a second. My cat is stuck on top of the shelf, as always. My cat is a gargoyle. He knows how to climb a shelf, but he doesn't know to go down. That's so weird. So yeah, similar to what I was saying to Jim, with my rant regarding Riot and all the clones, Warhammer, do not do fan art of stuff that already exists. Those are the Drukhari or Dark Elves, depending if it's 40k or Warhammer Classic. And right now, we don't really know if it's 40k or Warhammer Classic. You say Drukhari, but to me, it feels more like the Dark Elves from medieval Warhammer. Design something that could fit their universe, but is not already existing, because right now you're kind of working in someone else's creative footprint and you still want to have your voice, you know? So something I would advise you, for example, design a new faction. I know it's very difficult, but that's where there's a lot of value. I don't know what kind of faction we could have. Difficult to tell. It's difficult to imagine a new faction out of thin air. But let's say you have, I don't know, elves that are based on Croatian culture, for example, with all the folklore, like wood-carved creatures and things like that. That would be pretty cool. Just an example. But yeah, you want to avoid working on someone else's creative footprint. There's Mesmer right there, etc. So that's what I would advise to you. Next person, Laura Knop. I hope I'm not butchering your name. I graduated with fine art degree last year, but I have shifted my focus to concept art and taken a few online courses to help improve my work. I applied to some junior position, but nothing has come of it thus so far, so I'm hoping to push my portfolio further. I prefer the fantasy genre and love playing games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Skyrim. I also like the sci-fi and horror genres, but I think I need to choose a focus for my portfolio. Yes, and I saw you just got the preparatory module. You are sorted out. That's fine. You're going to learn a lot of things that you are missing regarding concept art with it. So yeah, you're sorted out. I'm assuming Christina added you recently. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 and Skyrim, it's Paul, let me answer your question just after. You mentioned that you like Baldur's Gate 3 and Skyrim. There are other fantasy games, of course, that are available. You can add Warhammer, you can add The Witcher, depending on how dark and gritty you want it to be. You could add Dragon Age the Veilguard. It's not about liking the game itself or not, but it's more about the art and where you want the direction to be. And Dragon Age the Veilguard, as I said last time, it flopped super hard. But the concept art, especially from Volta and people like Ryle Lira, oh my fucking god, it is insane. It is absolutely insane. And gorgeous work. So it depends on where you want it to go. I'm always leaning towards colorful and shape-heavy things. Maybe not stylized, but shape-heavy things, because I'm going to talk about that again in the next presentation. But all the medieval projects we get at the moment, this is generic Middle Age, desaturated natural colors covered in shit and mud. Everywhere. The dark fantasy stuff, all the Asian-inspired Souls-like, all the medieval games, even the latest Fable, it looks like shit. Come on. Can we bring back colorful fantasy? That's why I love Baldur's Gate so much. It's so colorful and it's a breath of fresh air. Middle Age was not dull. On the contrary, it was extremely vivid in terms of colors. And we look at the costumes of the knights and such. It was flamboyant as fuck. So let's go towards colorful things. And everyone is so fucking fed up with edgy, dark, grim, dark fantasy shit. That's another trend that I'm pissed off about. And I don't understand why studios do not understand that the market is saturated and nobody gives a shit anymore. And yeah, anything edgy, anything dark, anything that is like bootleg Dark Souls, forget about it. Honestly, everyone, not just you, Laura, but everyone, at the moment, forget about it in a portfolio. This is not going to make you stand out. It is on the easy side to do side of the spectrum. We talked about that with Fengzu's video 112 called Targeting Your Portfolio. Go watch it. It's on the easy side. So there's little to no value in making those. While this, already, I like where it's going. I really like where it's going. It's colorful. It's a bit too busy in terms of details, I think. But I like the idea. Just that right now there is a heavy 3D base. And I want to see more of the iterations. Right there's a lot of symmetry. It looks nice. Don't get me wrong. It looks nice. It's well done. Bit too much plants, in my opinion. It's a bit too fuzzy. You want to destroy a bit the details. And there might be a bit of scale issue. It looks very small. Like those tiles look big. That door looks small. So proportion-wise, it's a bit weird. And generally, the stairs, we always assume a stair is like 20 centimeter by 20 centimeter. So right there, you just have 1 meter. And that door feels like it's a meter and 20. It's like a halfling home, you know? So there are a bit of scale issue right there. You will need like 7 to 8 stairs. And now it will make sense, but you will have to lower the size of the, to decrease the size of those tiles because I think they are a bit too big. So little scale issue right there. Right here it looks a bit better. But yeah, probably a bit of scale issue. Iterations. It's a house, so you can have some silhouette, but I prefer perspective iterations. Let's pick Gael. It can be this sort of fake perspective, you know? It doesn't have to be mega complex perspective. Yeah, Relia, Rococo Middle Age, exactly. But you can see architecture like that. Or like this. Those are iterations right there. So those are the kind of stuff I would like to see. And then the inside props mechanisms inside, because right now we just have final shots and isolated 3D things. So we don't really know what were your refs, how you started, what you were aiming at, what was your brief, etc. So you have to document your process. I've talked about that in the previous portfolio reviews. And I mean, you have the prep module, so everything is going to be covered in it. I'm really not worried about what I see right there. If you're able to do that, if you redirect those skills towards design and iteration, is going to be good. I like those sketches. It's just leaning again a bit on the easy side of things. But it's well made, right? It's well made. A bit too edgy for me. Ask yourself, what is the demand for that? Especially as a junior, how likely are you to make those? And I will really advise you, similar to what we were seeing with Jim, do those beautiful NPCs. Even when you look at the work of Jess, I think you can pick Jess as a reference. That's really what we did with Jess. We were like, okay, you like The Witcher, I respect that. Let's not make a dull version of The Witcher. Let's make it colorful. And this is how we made it colorful, you know? This is colorful right there. I like it. And what I wanted to show you are those NPCs. You want them to be with a strong sense of flavor overall and identity. So that's the kind of stuff I will advise you to do. Those, the NPCs of Jim, etc. Focus on those and then focus on gameplay. Gameplay is so fucking underrated. Nobody does that. And it's so important. Because, okay, right there we answer how does it look. We don't have the turnaround. Oh, my bad. We have the turnaround. My bad. It's well made, by the way. It's well made. What I think about the photos is that they are a bit too much out of the Google photo with little to no paint over on it. And I get it. I had those refs. Those are like the Garrett Pog and the Anthony Jones type of refs right there. So you repurposed it well. I like it. But you want to be able to paint over it to regain control. And in a way, that might be a slightly controversial take, but bear with me, you're going to understand what I mean. I would always advise people that are photo bashing to make sure that eventually we cannot dissociate what has been painted from what has been photo bashed. And it goes in two ways. One, the rendering. This way, they cannot blame you for, oh, you just used the photo and that's it. And the second thing is, okay, you know to render well. So it forces you to regain control over the photo and not just slap a photo, integrate it well, and call it done. It's just a tool, but it's not the finality itself. I hope it makes sense. Sorry, my brain is not braining optimally today with my nose and a bit of fever. So I'm lacking a bit of vocabulary today. Yeah, right there, this is old. This is older. Not my kind of pictures. Like, what kind of problem is it solving? Which kind of game is it for? We don't really know. Not the biggest fan of those abstract shots. I prefer tangible elements like that. Again, law of supply and demand. We're going to talk about that extensively in the next presentation. Law of supply and demand. This is very high in supply and very low in demand. So careful. Imagine, and I'm not saying that to be dismissive. Okay, this is for educational purpose. Okay. Let's say we are in game. This is what we see. So you have your HUD with your life bar. You have your minimap. Let's say right here you have your quest log. You will have your skills. Okay. You might have like an extra map like that. Maybe we have a UI like Ubisoft, whatever. Okay, that's what you see. What's the gameplay? What do you have to do? Why? So I'm not saying there will never be shots like that, like in an open world game and such, but the problem is that everyone does that on ArtStation. And as soon as you make a HUD, suddenly it makes sense. It's like, where's the fun? Is it the highest amount of fun you can condense in one picture? Or interaction? Because the house right there, it might not be a place for it to be fun, but maybe to get a quest, and that's fine. Okay. I think ArtStation is dying at the moment. But yeah, right there, I don't really know what's the purpose. It feels like one of those cinematics where you arrive to that place and then the camera is going to zoom towards you and you're going to start and you're going to suddenly a path is going to unveil and you're going to know where to go. A bit like in Metroid Prime or something like that. But this shot is nice, for example, for an establishing shot in a movie. That's okay. The rest, I'm not fully convinced by that. It's too abstract. And more importantly, it's not really in line with the rest of the portfolio because you said you were aiming at fantasy and suddenly, boom, you have this kind of sci-fi piece. So it's, if you aim at fantasy, they're going to be like, why? There's nothing we can do with that, unfortunately. My God, I'm feeling like I'm ripping apart people right now. That's not the intention. Okay, those sketches are good. Okay, this is nice. This is a lot of variations right there. I like where it's going. Hello, Axel. Exactly. Environment concept art is basically how do I hide the level designer's 3D block out without breaking the immersion. Exactly. Unfortunately, you might not have a level designer at hand, so you will have to be a substitute for that. Poe, for fan concept, do you disclose that it's a fan concept or an already existing IP or label it as an original? No, it's a fan concept. Let's say you design something for in the style of Warhammer or Riot, say in the style of Riot or League of Legends or something like that, fan concept. And I know that certain games like Riot, they are okay seeing fan art, and some people actually got hired thanks to that because they have such a distinct style that you have to match. But don't make a portfolio full of that. People are binary. Have one project that can be a fan project for Riot or Warhammer, but the rest, make it original, make it your own. This way you can exploit it with other studios. And not just constrain it to Riot. Because when you're making a fan project, you're putting all your eggs in one basket company. If that company rejects that, you are fucked. You cannot do anything with that project. There we go. It's about gaining control over the photos now. You have a decent level at photo bashing. It's about gaining control for the design part. I think it's okay. You seem to know how to draw based off the thumbnail. ArtStation is dying at the moment, I'm sorry. Based off those thumbnails, you seem to know how to draw. I would like to see more of those. I would like to see those more polished. You picked a few. Like that witch, for example, very good. I like that witch. The witch, this kind of warlock right there is kind of cool. We could pick that character with the net could be kind of cool. And maybe a last one. Whatever. It's very edgy though. It's very edgy, very dark fantasy. It might be a bit too much. For some bad guys, that's okay. Maybe the ranger. Pick the ranger right there, that's fine. And repose them. Treat them as if it was a character selection screen. So that one is fine. The other ones, they are a bit too idle, I think. And I would like them to see I would like to see them polished with the full design process, not just a jump from sketch to final one. I want to see the mid stages, you know. Final, turnaround, costumes, earlier sketches. Even earlier sketches, you know. That's the kind of stuff I would like to see. But hey, you are in good hands with the prep module. I'm not worried about that. I have 1 hour left. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, this one is going to be super quick because there's only 2 pictures. Let me grab the Jack Massarello. I graduated from concept art program in April 2025. Since then, I've been working on my performance skills, trying to find a job. I'm mainly interested in character and creature design. I am at Ubisoft, Warhammer, Wizards of the Coast, and From Software. Okay. So Warhammer, Wizards, and From Software, they might have some humanoid characters like that. Ubisoft, there's no way. And to me, rendering, I talked about the different things from rendering. So always the same. Lighting, we don't have lighting there. It's too diffuse. We need strong light and shadows that are separating elements and creating volumes and directionality. Material separation, right there. I know you are suggesting metal, but everything reacts the same way to light. You need to sharpen the reflections on metal and make it more spread on matte materials, etc. And besides the subject, the level of detail, we have details everywhere. And we don't really have a strong focal point, unfortunately, because everything is so busy. So yeah, same right here. It's too busy. There's too much. And you see that you don't really know where to focus. And the eye is looking for a way to rest and cannot find it. So I don't mind those beautiful engravings and such, but you want to you want to lower the opacity where it doesn't matter. You want to reduce the contrast and increase the contrast where it matters. And to me, that's what I'm mentioning always with the mentees in the preparatory module. It's what I call the 1-2-3 rule. For lack of a better word, that's how I called it. So the 1-2-3 rule is just focus on 3 points on the character. 1, 2, 3. 1 is about the personality. Second is about gameplay / function. And the last one is about quote-unquote story. So generally, 1 is always going to be the face for the character to define, okay, what is it in terms of personality. Number 2 is going to be most likely surrounding the hands and weapons. And 3 is going to be either on the chest or around the waist. It's going to be a little story element. Let me show you some examples right there. And it can be at any scale. It can be for the sketches, but it can be there. Like right there, we have a strong focal point around the eyes. Okay. That's a lady. She seems a bit rough and feral. That's fine. We got this information. 2, gameplay. So we have that weird arm. It kind of overlaps with the bow and the bird. So we know, okay, it's a hunter. You see even that arm right there. Boom, there is the knife. So that's what we see right there. And the last detail points, it's either here or there. And all the rest, all those areas right there, let me remove all those things. You see right here, right here, right here, right here. It's way less detailed. We still have tons of information, don't get me wrong. We have tons of details, but it's way lower contrast and it's not distracting. Okay? Even on that little bird. 1, 2, and 3. Let me get my cat down. See what I mean? So very important. Right there, it's too busy. I think you want to put probably too much. And it is going to make your things harder to read. Right there already, it's a bit better. Because you have some resting areas on the designs. So it's mostly about subject. And I like where it's going right there. It's kind of FZD-like. but not just polish picture. You need some sketches, and you need to polish those sketches more. I think you are going a bit fast on the sketches, and you want to spend more time on it and less on rendering and the subject. It might be labeled a bit as close to furry right there, unfortunately. Get back to some subject and content that those studios could do. And if you have From Software in your targets, one, better learn Japanese, and two, do not lean in the dark and desaturated, covered in mud and shit, as I was saying before. Lean into the flamboyant. The characters like Blythe from Elden Ring, Rani, Dialos, characters like that, more than your average peasant covered in blood, you know. It's a short portfolio, so I don't have much more to say, but that's it. Next, Alessandro Rocco. First of all, your name on Discord is bad. Concept artists do not self-depreciate like that. It's not really a selling name. I think I know it's on we are on Discord, but come on, one might argue, okay, we are always judged on the first impression. The first impression it gives is that you are self-depreciating yourself with that. So like in confidence, etc. So it doesn't spark the best prejudice against you. So that will be my first thing. All right. I'm a concept artist with over 3.6 years of studio experience. So while my current portfolio leans towards stylized aesthetic, my true passion is in professional focus lies in sci-fi, cyberpunk, and horror. I'm looking for a fascinating project where I can truly contribute my vision and make my voice heard. When you are in a studio, you are giving your voice to the project. So expecting to be heard in a project, be careful with that. I look at the podcast we did with Gabriel a few weeks ago, and watch out for the podcast we're gonna do. I have recorded it last week. It's going to be released on the 26th of February. It's with Marco Djordjevic from Six More Vodka, because he talks extensively about your artistic voice. And I think it's not in a studio that you are going to be able to express your voice. You're going to rent your voice for the project. So it's important that you create that context where your voice is heard by making your own project. Okay? About what you like. You mentioned sci-fi, cyberpunk, and horror. Make your own project. Because right now, all you have, is stuff that belongs to someone else. I said several times that unfortunately we cannot rely on professional work to make up for a portfolio most of the time. But this is good. This is a nice, this feels a bit like a clone of the Antarctica map from Overwatch. But this looks kind of nice. It's a bit simple. I would like to see a bit more complexity in the shapes. I like where it's going. At least for the exercise of that map filled with cats, with cat scratchers and such. I need to buy one of those for my cats. This is nice. Those are simple. So my main tip for you, technique-wise, design-wise, I'm sure you know how to do it. You know how to render, so that's fine. Make your own project. Make your own project. Make sure it can fit within, you didn't mention the studios, but I'm assuming things like Valorant, Cyberpunk, and such. You could design your own map. You know how to draw. This is cool. This is really cool. but this is a bit narrow for a job, I think. Your propsies are phenomenal. Those are cool. Nice. This is good right now. This is good for like Apex Legend. Holy shit, the weapons are very good. So much. This is so good. I want to see more of those. I want to see more complex buildings and shapes and vehicles like that. That's your strong suit. Time to make a new project. That's all I have to say. You know how to do it. You know how to do it. It's just about putting the time and effort to make your own project. The rest is fine. I'm not a fan at all of those keyframe, dark cyberpunk-ish things because there's no market demand for it. Please change that name. Bad concept artist right there. You are downselling yourself so much. Whether we want it or not, we are always judged on the first impression. It's very important. And you are far from being bad. Actually, this is very good. So there's so much more. More propsies and environment and vehicles and furnitures and map in data aesthetic. That's all. I'm sorry, this is a short review. This is not to be disappointing. That's all I have to say. Technique-wise, you know how to do it. Design-wise, you know how to do it. Let's go. To fucking work. Let's go. Jin Kang. I'm sorry again if I'm butchering the names. I'm a college student graduating this spring. I studied fine arts in high school, and after starting an animation program, I got to know about concept art. Since then, I've been studying concept art alongside my animation degree. In the long term, I'm hoping to enter the game industry as a concept artist. However, as an international student, I'm currently focused on opportunities at US-based animation studio, including internships. I'm still figuring out how to tailor my portfolio differently for animation studio versus game companies. I really appreciate feedback based on the standards for animation-focused concept art portfolios. At the moment, I feel my portfolio lacks ideation, call-out and early-stage development work, and variation that could better demonstrate my value as a junior concept artist. My goals are Netflix, Sony, Disney, DreamWorks, Titmouse, Bento Box. Let's say I'm open to any opportunity that's a good fit and for fair compensation. Is there still a way to submit portfolio? Not now anymore. I've been doing 3 massive reviews total. So I'm going to reopen the thing, maybe, but I could open the channel, but I'm not going to do reviews in the immediate time, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks. I think I'm going to keep that channel open, probably. But not now. So don't expect immediate review. And today I'm just finishing what I have, and I hope I will have enough time because I just have 40 minutes to finish 4 portfolios. So what I noticed first is that there is a heavy... I think there's a heavy use of 3D. Yeah, heavy use of 3D. So the question, especially for animation and VizDev, is do you want to use those super realistic materials and super jagged and detailed things? When you look at Sony Pictures, when you look at Disney, when you look at Titmouse animations, they are more simple than that. So the first thing is matching their style. And I think right now it's almost a realistic treatment and approach to everything because everything is so jagged and detailed. It will be distracting in an animated series, I think. I like it, if it was for games, and if you were aiming at maybe not realistic games, but more realistic project than animated series. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, change your name. Bad concept artist, please. Come on. I know that as artists we tend to lack self-confidence and we are crippled by imposter syndrome and such. But imagine you are a studio, you are looking for concept art, and suddenly you get to portfolio and the first thing you read before even opening the portfolio is bad concept art. It's going to create a negative bias. Do not change for awesome mega giga chat concept art either. Of course, it's going to be pretentious, but put your name. Put your name. That's fine. Your name is important, folks. Your personal reputation is an important currency in that industry. So yeah, respect your name. And I'm speaking about that as a person that gets into that gets confronted to people disagreeing with a lot, because I know I'm a bit spicy, and I have some strong opinions about concept art and things like that, and some people are a bit butthurt. And let alone, oh my god, when you're trying to sell something, people are pissing the shit out of you. But that's fine. That's fine, and I'm proud of my name, you know, and you should be proud of your name too, folks. That's your brand. People are good when people start to be like, oh, that person. So let's say Billy Smith. That's the guy who is very good at that. When someone talks to you about that's the guy or that's the girl, that's the person who, you know, you start to have some sort of quote unquote personal branding and a reputation for yourself. Hopefully it's going to be good, but that's important today. Do not hide under pseudonyms and things like that, in my opinion, because in a studio, everyone is going to call you by your name, you know. That's my take on the thing. It's important. You should be. Everyone should be proud of their name. I know we don't choose it. That we are leaning a bit into the philosophical right now. We don't choose it. Some spiritual people could argue that your name is going to define a lot of things regarding your personality. That's a whole other debate. That is very interesting, but not for today's conversation. But you should be proud of that and wear it like a badge of honor and a brand, you know. And you should pay. You should act in a way that makes your name associated with great things, you know. At least regarding work. It's like even when you are with your friends and such, it's like oh, Tim is the guy that is reliable and kind and giving a lot of advice. Okay, I'll take that. I prefer that than, oh, he's the spicy guy on LinkedIn. Yeah, spicy just to attract attention, you know. But I prefer to be noticed for the tips and not the spicy things, you know. It's just an example. Sorry for the slight tangent. But yeah, be proud of that. So change your name even on Discord and search. No more bad concept artists. You're good, dude. You're very good. Back to Eugene. My apologies. So to me, this is more geared towards games. This kind of isometric things and such in animation. Unless it's 3D animation, you are rarely going to have those kind of isometric. It's good to have one to show you can do it. Because Netflix, Sony, they do some 3D animation now. But you also want those 2D animation shots. So you want layouts. you want shot design, and you want a lot of drawing that is in line with the style. So titmouse. I've not seen those things. Oh, they are the one who made human resources. Okay. okay. But look at that style. Is the environment right there in line with this? I don't think so. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. Ugh. So yeah, you it's style-wise, that's the priority. Right there, that 3D is too wobbly, and it feels like it will fit for like the Addams Family or Tim Burton movie. But for most of what you are aiming at, no. So the priority is a style analysis, I think. And simplify your 3D. If your goal is animation, simplify your 3D. You have too much. You are aiming too much at realistic result. Oh my god, a hiccup. You're aiming at realistic result with that 3D. And it's always harder to remove detail than add some. In order to look tedious to add detail, it's always easier to add some. So stylization, that's a priority. Similar to what I was saying for other people, pick a product that is similar to that. So whatever, Sister Grimm, okay. I don't know at all about those series. Let's pick this. That looks cool as fuck. What is this? Oh, they have done the Mighty Nine. Okay. And you see, it's a spectrum. You're going to have like that thing or that thing that are going to be super mega cartoony. Those things that are going to be a bit more in the middle. And that thing that is going to be a tad more, not realistic, but a bit more mature audience. This is cool. This looks nice. At first shot, pretty good. I like where it's going. You see, you really want to design those backgrounds, right? It's generic as fuck right there, so it's not the most interesting one, unfortunately. Can we have some color, please? What I don't like in animated series that generally the backgrounds are generic as fuck. Like right there, this is generic as fuck, unfortunately. Oh my god, this is so... You realize that most of the budget has been put in characters and not environment in that series? I need to watch it. Yeah, not a great example, unfortunately. But yeah, matching the style. That's the most important thing. Let's have a look at this. I really like the style of that one. Oh my god. This looks cool. See? It's very different. Go beyond that level of design, okay? Right there, this is boxy as fuck. This is basic 3D. This is super simple. This is way too simple for me. This is nice. Right there, this is cool. So yeah, style-wise, first priority. Then maybe one isometric, and then a lot of shot design for the backgrounds. That's going to be important. That's it. Next. Give me a second. So, Marcel from London. Graduate concept artist currently taking on mentorship as I build to start my career. My portfolio is focused on film, especially environment, interior and props, but I'm also actively working on game-focused project aiming for ILM, Terraform, painting practice, Framestore, and Chromatic. Oh my god. Was still open to opportunities in the game industry as well. So good luck focusing on both games and movies at the same time. It's very difficult. It's never say never, but it's difficult. Then ILM, Framestore. Framestore, there are 4 concept artists in the planet. So you have to be not good. You have to be exceptional at everything. Characters, environment, vehicle, and you have to be fucking fast. So it's not to crush dreams. It's just to make sure you potentially expand your range, or that you do not treat them as your entry point in the industry. There are plenty of other cinematic studios. You pick Room 8, you pick Pixeloid, you pick Goodbye Kansas. They are more accessible. So you will have to do a lot of shot designs. It's good that you have some of those callouts right there. That's fine. You have to polish them more though, because right there it's still sketchy. And it's very boxy. And you want to present something that is final. And right there it's still a bit sketchy. And at least for those studios, it's not gonna match style-wise unless you add an extra layer of realism on it, or extra layer of polish. Maybe not realism, but polish. The question, if I want to play my devil's advocate art director, is let's say we remove 3D. How proficient are you at drawing? That's the first question I will ask. I think it's okay because the 3D base is kind of basic, and you seem to be comfortable detailing and drawing on top, so I like it. I like it a lot. The second question is, okay, that thing in 3D, how much time do you spend on it? Is it a day? Is it an hour? I would like to know, because again, those movie companies, they want you to be fast as fuck. So it's really about speed. Next, regarding the shots, none of those shots are action-based. It's very static, and white, we might have that need. Look, for example, at Daniel McGarry. Whoop. There's a lot of action scenes right there. It's not just static things overall. So it's going to be important to have a bit of everything. A lot of cinematic shots. Big landscapes like that, which we don't have. You need to have everything. That's all I'm saying. I know it's a very generic answer, but you need to have a bit of everything. And that's going to be the first thing. Creatures is very important also. This is beautiful. Very inspired by Jama. And even when you look at the work of Jama, Walking with a Brief. See? Action-based. 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 We can hear the picture. We can feel them. We can sense them. There's a lot of this kind of textual information and sound information. I know that we have a lot of cinematic shots from The Mandalorian, but I'm pretty sure we also have some actions. There we go. So not just static and contemplative shots. And not everything has to be mega polished. You look at those ones, it's super duper sketchy, but it's fully rendered. And we have all the informations we need. Look at how much sound and engaging the sense those pictures are overall. It is going to be important. Games, I talked about that in every single review before. So callouts, functionality, gameplay, being exhaustive. Movies, it's a bit the opposite. It's like the shots. But bear in mind, for anyone going into cinematic stuff, that doing only contemplative stuff like that, for example, there might be some demand for it, but it's not only this, okay? So you have to have more than that. You have to work in sequence, very important. That's why I like the work of JAMA. It's always in sequence. Look at that. There's so much emotion. You feel the thing, you hear the picture, you have the music. It needs to engage the senses and imagination overall. Even things like that, this is so valuable. So very important. You are covering the fundamentals right there of design, production readiness, props, etc. Those things for set dressing and such, it might be needed. So that's fine that you have it. But then action. You really want action. Imagine a movie with just scenes like that. It's going to be a bit static, you know. There might be a moment again in a movie for that, but it's you have to show you can cover a full production overall. So yeah, creature, more character, not just dark stuff. Please have some color. Have some color. It's important. Look at JAMA's portfolio. There's so much different stuff everywhere. I know that in today's movies, we tend to be very monochromatic. And you get back to watching movies from the 80s, like the Gremlins, even Lord of the Rings and such. You're like, why is there more than 2 colors on the screen? But still, it's very important. And right there, you have a lot of stuff happening overall. So it's important that you cover a lot of different things. This is nice. Oh my God. See, there is always things that engages the senses. For lack of a better word, that's the idea. You can smell the picture, you can hear it, you can touch it, you can feel the warmth, you can feel the wetness of the cave. You can feel everything. But those designs are nice. Good at sci-fi. Do not do just sci-fi, of course. Again, movies, you have to be good at everything. Have a look at the videos of Daniel McGarry. I'm pretty sure you watched them already. But he's one of the most suited person to talk about movies. I'm more specialized on 2 games. Next. Very good already. Tower. I've been studying concept design for the past 4 years and now working on my final industry portfolio for games. Sorry. In film entertainment as I graduate. You're a student? Holy shit. I have some experience working in theme park concept art industry. Theme park is very lucrative. But would love to break into and make a career in games. I'm trying to target studios that make AAA double games with a realistic style in the range of historically grounded fantasy and real world with maybe a bit of sci-fi. You cannot reconcile historically grounded fantasy with sci-fi. So you will have to make a choice. Stuff like Ubisoft, Sucker Punch, Outsing Studio like West Character, Terraform, also aiming for film entertainment studio, as you can see in my portfolio. Focus on design and environment, interior set, architecture, and props. I could improve my intention to detail, more cutaways and callouts and gameplay thinking. I feel like I don't have enough stuff in my portfolio that shows how something could directly be implemented into gameplay, especially the talks about adding value to server rather than just attractiveness is something that I want to focus on, and I'm doing in my current working progress portfolio product. No problem. I think you're already aware of a lot of things. I'm blown away by the fact that you are a student. I was expecting you to already be a professional. This is great. This is really, really, really great. I like to see theme park design. This is so rare. I think we got only 1 or 2 mentees who did that. This is very valuable because you're there about designing an experience. It's in high demand, by the way. I like where it's going, this kind of clockwork tower with gear, a bit steampunk-ish mixed with Rome, right there. This is gorgeous work. Oh, Italian Renaissance, modern version of Rome, sorry. This is gorgeous. I like the way you are mixing references. It's pretty smart. Like, we can recognize the Roman architecture, the Italian one with those clocks at the same time, but the shapes are different. So design-wise, I like where it's going. This is good. Whew. So design-wise, we can always push it further, but I think right there, this is where I need to be careful in my review because this is for theme park. And right there, you do not design gameplay in theme park. You design distraction because those people are going to be waiting in line right there. There might be a curtain right there. They see those little things and they have to be entertained and busy while they wait. So what I will design right here, instead of that ginormous mess of a workshop, is how can you have some timed event that happens right, like that robot suddenly animating, that little thing on a rail, flapping its wing, breaking by the window, entering and going out. You need to have like repeatable distractions that are going to happen maybe in a 1 or 2 minute loop to distract people. I'm not an expert about theme park, okay? I've been to Disneyland maybe twice in my life. One when I was 20, and once, maybe I think it was a bit more than 2 years ago. And when I rediscovered Disney 2 years ago, I was already with experience in the industry and such, so I could see the distraction, and everything is on a loop. All the animation sets is on a loop, and unless the place is mega crowded, you are barely going to see that loop repeat itself unless you go to fucking Space Mountain or the Avengers theme park roller coaster where everyone is waiting for hours, or the Nemo thing in Disneyland Paris. In that case, you're going to see that loop a lot of time, but a 1 minute loop is more than enough. So think about those little distractions. This is gorgeous, dude. I want people like that in the mentorship. Oh my God. That's so easy to deal with. Oh my God, I love it, dude. I love it. I want more details about those. This needs to be detailed. Ah, it's functional. Oh. Detail those things. It's not carved enough. Oh my God, that bird. I love it. I love it, dude. This is so cool. Damn. Fake screenshots right there. Very good. Design-wise, it's fine. It's fine. And you have a bit of everything, which is rare. So for the person who was aiming at movie, those shots, this is good for movies also. This is very good. I'm sorry, I'm sounding like a broken record right now, but I'm just enjoying the ride. Oh, that part looking like a ram. That's good. Oh my god, I'm happy. I want to see more of those. So, for games, what I advise you is thinking in terms of level design, because for those right there, even that thing could almost be for a theme park. It's not, but it could be. This is beautiful, like very inspired by God of War, etc. So you are doing a great job at targeting studios. What I would advise you, one more project, this time fully about video games. Think about level design and the abilities of the character. So I'm going to show again the work of Nikita and Jean. So start by making an inventory of the capacities of the character and design an environment around it. So right there we have this immersive sim, very Dishonored based. Oh shit. Very Dishonored inspired. And boom. How do you build an environment that we have to infiltrate? You apply the same design skills that you have and you think about pure gameplay and you're good. Just one thing like that. Psychopatch, so that's Ghost of Tsushima, so you can do some infiltration stuff, you can do yeah, you can do this kind of stuff, I think. Tons of callouts like that for the different things, and you explain the mechanisms, like how everything works. The fake screenshot with the abilities right here, those are fantastic. And callouts for things, how they work, things like that. Nikita did some animation, you don't have to. This is crazy. When game. And a lot of iteration, because something that I don't see that much on certain products is that the iterations, they are a bit minor right there. I would like to see more drastic ones. Even for those callouts. Right there, you see it's flat. That's normal. That's for the public. In game, you want a fuck ton of verticality. You want intricacies, you want verticality, you want complexity. It will be dangerous for the public to navigate in that place, okay? But we are in a game, and we like danger in a game. That's the kind of stuff. And the work of Jean is also pretty good. With those platforms that are moving, thinking as a platforming game, having to move those things. It's like your mission is to go from A to B, and there will be C, D, and E as obstacles that you will have to defeat. How do you design a whole environment around that? See, with those platforms, having to move them and jump. It's for a stylized game. So let's put aside the stylistic factor. But it's just the idea, okay? Like an old school platformer game right there. Doesn't have to be a platformer what you design for. It can be more like a Souls-like, more like an immersive sim, something like that. And you're good. To me, that's the only thing missing. I don't have much more to add. You're not ready for John's chapter 2. Yeah, I need to have a look. But yeah, that's it. The rest, your design skills, it's great. It's beautiful. I like the shapes that you are doing. This is nice. This is on par with what they like at character, at Terraform, Chromatic, etc. I'm not worried about you, dude. This is good. I want more people like you in the mentorship. It's exactly the kind of people we like to sort out fast and we have fun with. This is very good, dude. I'm very happy with what I'm seeing. Theme park is a good niche. It can pay very, very well, by the way. This is cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't have much more to say. One could argue you could break the 3D a bit more, but right there I don't mind. Honestly, that's fine. That's fine. You know to paint, you know to sketch fast. We can sense that, and this is what matters. I'd like to see a bit more complexity, a bit more propses, etc. to tell the story of people who live there, but that's it. Very good job. Very good. Let's move to the last one. FZD student. So it's going to be an easy case to solve. Hey team, I'm Ashki. Thanks a ton for doing this. I'm a concept artist working in films and games, and I graduated from FZD in 2023. So you were with Evan, with Satchit, and with other people. Hello, Christina. You're doing well. Get thought on my portfolio. Please don't hold back. Feel free to be as blunt and brutally honest as you want. Cheers. We will need to know the studios you are aiming at, and based on what I see, I would assume things like Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft, etc. Based off the name, yep, India. So that's going to be the most likely case. I'm sorry if it's a cliche assumption, but I've seen so many FZD student portfolio, and we've been dealing with so many FZD students in the mentorship also, and I'm not saying it's all the FZD students, but those we dealt with, it was always the same, the same qualities and flows, as I was saying in the previous stream. So qualities, you know how to make fucking call out shit. You know how to navigate in a space, which is good, which is very, very good. Flow number one, relying too much on 3D. You need to trust yourself. Like right there, this is an outline thing, and draw on top. Okay, we have a few micro details there, but you can trust yourself more. For filler rooms in a game, that's fine. That's okay. But problem number one of FZD students that we deal with is that they stick too close to the 3D and to photo references, and they end up just grabbing some Google photos and putting them in orthographic. While we want you folks to push beyond the references, it's good that you have this kind of Roman-inspired stuff, because I will be able to pick Evan McKenzie, former FZD student, probably one of your classmates. I'm sorry for the disgusting sound. My nose is a fountain right now. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, Neuromancer spotted. So this is an example. And Evan, it was the same problems as you before. So very good at grabbing Google photos and mashing them together in a very coherent environment, but we had to level up the design abilities. And this is what happened. We picked the Roman thing, we mixed it with something unexpected, which is dragons. So it was like Rise Son of Rome mixed with Monster Hunter. And now, how do you design a place for hunting fucking dragons and building weapons to hunt them? And that's how you end up with design heavy stuff that do not exist on their own on Google Photos. Like that elevator. I'm pretty sure Romans didn't have elevators like that. Or that nobody lived long enough to tell how it looked. So we had to reinvent things from scratch. So it's really about reinventing things instead of just copying references. because right there, it's working for some filler stuff. And the fact that you are working shows that. But if you want to aim towards bigger studios, it's about design now. And what we see in FZD portfolios is that you always have the final result. You are never documenting the sketches and the early iterations. That's also something that I would like to see. It's very important that you not only you show, okay, guys, this is the final result and how you can make it, but this was my brief. This is what I tried that worked and didn't. So this is what I tried that worked and didn't. And this is how I eventually refine my choice towards the final result. In addition to the final result, I'm being very exhaustive about all the propses, all the elements, and you see nothing comes straight out of a Google picture. Everything is mixed and mashed together to achieve something new that is Google resistant. This is, let me bite a bit of my sandwich. This is something I said in a previous review. I know that artists freak out about AI, and I'm not going to spark the debate about it again. We all know why AI is ethically creating a lot of ethical issues, let's say. Let's not even debate about that. It's besides the point. But people are obsessing about how do I make my work AI resistant? And I'm like, you know what? Worse than AI, there is fucking Google. So before considering making your work AI resistant, try to make it Google resistant. And right there, those patterns, those things, I'm pretty sure those are almost copy paste of those references. So all those things, ask yourself, how can I make it Google resistant? Like that wooden beam. Let's just pick that wooden beam and that staircase, okay? Right there, you have the functionality of it, but can you carve some stuff to make the form different than what you will have on Google? That's how it will work. You have that example with those pillars from Evan, but I wanted to show you from Gael for those wooden beams. You see right there, those arches is from a cathedral. Move to wood. Now we have ornaments. And it's not just about basic shape and slapping a crappy ornament on it. It's about altering the shape, okay? You keep the function and you alter the shape, okay? Why do you think there are so many fantasy portfolios compared to sci-fi? Simple, because sci-fi is fucking hard to do. And for most people, it's not something I would advise for juniors. Fang talks about that in the video 112, way more extensively than me. Sci-fi is too hard. Sci-fi is way too hard. And you don't have to do fantasy, okay? You can do historical, you can do modern settings, you can do a lot more stuff than just medieval fantasy. And actually, we start to actively discourage our mentees to pick generic middle-aged European fantasy shit. Because this is heavily Googleable. And at the beginning of that session, I was talking about the fact that a lot of projects right now, they are generic middle-aged stuff covered in the earth and mud done in Unreal 5 with kid bashing assets. Can we stop? Can we go back to pure design rather than just keep bashing the same quick sell stuff that we have seen a billion times? It's crazy. That's another thing I need to talk about in tomorrow's presentation. Hopefully it's going to be tomorrow if I recover my voice. But 10 or 15 years ago, you remember the old school indie style? Like you know, the old school indie style, it was a bit like this, you know, very low poly, low resources, they had to be kind of cheap and efficient, so it was things like this. I love that game, by the way. Tunic is very good. So before, when we were seeing that, we were like, oh, that's cheap. That's cheap. We know they had to cut corners. And today, cheap looks like this. Today, cheap is that piece of shit. This is the new cheap. It's crazy how inverted the values are today in games, where 10 to 15 years ago, photorealism was a gauge of quality. And today, photorealism means that the developers, they were the fucking cheapest devs ever. Just kid bashing shit and wanting to have a cash grab. Like, besides maybe the character, I'm pretty sure they have not modeled any of those shit. Maybe the roof tiles right there. And you can see a clear difference of quality between this and even that thing. So I'm assuming this is what they model. All the rest, they just bought asset for that. They played Lego with it and they called it a game. This is the new cheap. And this is why I'm fighting so hard on designing something that is Google resistant or kit bash resistant, because this is a way bigger threat than AI, in my opinion. At least for concept artists, if you want to get a job. Because this is also stealing your fucking job. Lazy devs making those kit bash piece of shit. This is stealing more jobs than AI for concept art, in my opinion. At least in big studios. This is drastically reducing the amount of work you will have to do, because before, even those generic piece of shit or of carriage right there, or barrels, this is a Quixel barrel right there. That statue, I'm pretty sure I've seen it on Quixel. Those things you had to design it before. Now that you don't have to design it. So that's a lot of work that is removed from you and a lot of paycheck removed from you. So if you design generic stuff like that, unfortunately, there will be no reason to hire you because they don't need you to make them. It's already made. Yep, same Quixel asset everywhere. This is stealing more jobs than AI. This is going to be a very controversial take. Might be farmed, I don't know. But let's see things for what it is. So please, to everyone, not just you, Akshay. I hope I'm not butchering your name, by the way. But for everyone watching that video, this is, if there is one thing you want to remember from those things and how to stand out as a concept artist, once you've proven you understand production and blah, 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 the things I've been rambling about for 3 years, design. Go for the hard stuff. If it's easy, it is worthless. Okay? If it's easy, if there is already an asset for it, if you don't struggle to make it, it's worthless. I know it sounds like your hustle culture, bro, right? You have to suffer, bro, to become a top G. It's not what I mean, but if you folks get contempt with generic stuff, you will not cut it in the industry. Because there's a billion other, if it's easy for you, it's easy for everyone else. And law of supply and demand, when everyone can do it, it has no value on the market. And even if you land a job there, you are in a danger because you are easily replaceable by someone doing the same stuff as you for cheaper. This is why I've been bashing so hard on the Last of Us 2 fan art, the Ghost of Tsushima fan art, all those generic shit that try to copy a great game that was very grounded, very realistic, and in which the genius of the art direction was not that much in the subject, but in subtle things. You look at like Romain Joindeau, Oh shit. This is going to be the end of the presentation, by the way. I might have 5 extra minutes, but then I have to go absolutely. Like, the genius of those pictures, it has nothing to do with those buildings. Because most of those buildings, they are probably modeled after photos, and then they are populated and things like that. And by saying that, I'm not dismissing the work of Roma. On the other hand, I think the absolute genius is turning mundane stuff into fucking masterpiece of canvas. Because everywhere you go, the composition is gorgeous, but it's mostly the composition and the shots and the shapes and the mood. It's not the subject. It's just the context and the appeal to senses they create with that makes an immersive experience. I remember the very first trailer they released for Ghost of Tsushima, when the horse is riding in that field. You can sense the rosea, the little droplets of water from the morning on the leaves of the plants that are whipping the horse. You can hear that, you can sense that. You get chilly when you see it. You get that soft shiver down your spine. You sense it's fresh, and that's the genius of those games. Same with The Last of Us. You look at like a Florent Lebrun last ArtStation. The genius of The Last of Us, first of all, they went crazy on replicating those American cities properly. But what is masterful is the way they tell a story and the way they guide the eyes of the player. Because this is not an open world game, this is a corridor game, and they manage to make sure every single shot tells you exactly where you have to go. You don't feel the senses that I'm describing when looking at the visuals? Can't you hear the picture? Can't you touch it? Like that picture, you can easily imagine, I think, unless you have aphantasia, I don't know, but at least personally, that's what I say to the mentees. When you see that picture, you can imagine the sound of that waterfall. You can imagine those guys moving. You can imagine the water ripple. You can imagine the sound of the boat. You can imagine the surrounding around it. Here we go. That's what I mean by engaging the senses. Can you feel the dust there? Can you imagine that moving? Can you hear the sound? It's what Jama was telling us in his mentorship back in 2020. It's like you need to hear the picture. You need to smell it. You need to touch it. You need to have the senses engaged. That's what creates immersion. And right there, unfortunately, I don't have the senses. It tells me what it is. But I do not smell the food. I do not hear and smell the furnace with the freshly baked bread right there. That's the kind of stuff I want to see. Okay? In addition to designing the hard stuff. That's pretty much it, folks. I have to go. I'm sorry. Very, very busy couple of days. A lot of things to do. Hope you enjoyed the reviews. There will be more later. And I will do a presentation pretty soon about market demand, supply and demand, clones of clones of clones of clones, and navigating that in the sense that you have to find a portfolio subject that matches that and resists all those problems. So we're going to talk exactly about that. All right, talk to you soon. Bye-bye.